4-unit strip center this way, and then here this was actually a like live-in, I guess, apartment that the long-term manager of the storage facility lived in with a bunch of dogs, and so it's just very dirty apartment. So once we closed on it, this was being since converted, so completely gut renovated to an office. The office will be used to manage the actual storage facility and probably at some point sell just like some, basic moving supply boxes, packing tape, that kind of stuff for people that are moving in and out of the storage facility. And then we still have the other 4 units. Two were already occupied, tents are still in place, the other 2 have been renovated as well.
Little cameras will go where?
They've already been outfitted on this commercial building. In the existing buildings, we'll be installing all these ones on the new buildings that are getting constructed. Spend a decent amount of money on video surveillance for basically the whole property will be under surveillance. And it's a little bit for theft, obviously, or we had the issue where the lady used her vehicle to break into the unit and take her stuff out of there after it had been locked. And so little stuff like that, but it's also for just so people that are renting here feel safe. And so if somebody's coming in and out of here on the weekend or in the evening and there's nobody working in the office, they know that the whole thing's under surveillance. And that's why we have the TV right here. So when you walk up to the office, you can see kind of the camera set up. As the rest of these get installed, my assumption would be you'll be able to see them all up there, and you'll be able to see that the whole thing's being recorded. There's 2 existing storage facilities that I guess weren't completely destroyed in the tornado. These 2 existing buildings are like all concrete block constructions. They're super durable, but they're dated and kind of ugly. The retail was the same. So the retail we did in stucco, which looks great, but these ones we're actually going to wrap in metal to match the new building. So it's not really doing anything other than aesthetics, but it'll look basically brand new and match the same style as the new buildings. So these are the new buildings. These are the ones that they're working on finishing right now. And again, you can see the old building. Once they wrap those in metal, they're going to look very, very, very similar. They'll still have the old style roof, but other than that, the buildings will look the same. We're almost finished with the construction of all the buildings that we're currently working on. We're going to build one more ground up climate control building that we haven't started yet. That one will probably start in a couple months. The construction project, just initially we looked at this as just doing the construction project. And so that was a no-brainer for me because I knew we could handle the construction project no problem. It was for a good friend of mine who then approached me about investing with him in it. And so the only reason that I chose to take this on as an investment as well is because he's handling all the management of it. I do think it would have been a little bit shiny object syndrome for me if I would have been the only one buying this and trying to manage it. But since he's managing it, it works well. We can do the construction project. He's going to manage the lease up and day-to-day management of it. And again, it's going to be super nice and a great real estate investment when it's all done. So, I mean, any project's challenging, but I'll give you an example. I would much rather do this project, this commercial project, than a couple heavy remodel projects. This is just a little bit, because of the scale of it, it's bigger. It almost makes it a little bit easier, I think, to handle. And again, we're looking right now at kind of doing more and more either ground up new construction commercial projects or heavy rehab commercial construction projects like this. It's worked really well for us. Right now, I'm letting him fully handle the management. So before I decided to invest in the project with him, I underwrote it, and so that's when I dug into what I think they would rent for per unit and how many units or square footage we had, and make sure that the deal made sense to me as a whole. But as far as if he wants to offer a first month's discount or this is how much we're going to rent these units for, I'm trusting him to completely handle that side of it. And I think he's going to do an amazing job at it. The cool thing about the storage is if you have a turnover, it's concrete and metal and it just has to be cleaned out versus like the single family houses that we do. So it's very low maintenance and I like the idea of it. I do think it could be a little bit saturated. We're just going to scale something really hard. We'll build as many of these projects as people want us to, as far as doing it as the construction company, and or if it makes sense to invest in them, we'll invest in them. There's a lot of competition when it comes to storage. I think this spot in Jacksonville is a great place for this, but depending on where it's at, it may not be as enticing to me. It wouldn't surprise me, especially with people with apartments. I mean, people with apartments are going to need the storage units. People just have a lot of stuff. I mean, we try to get rid of stuff when we don't need it, but a lot of people just hold on to it and pay for these storage units forever. So it doesn't make sense to me, but it's fairly common. So these were like nasty, just run down, kind of falling apart looking. We closed it. I say these are retail. These would really make better, like kind of, I call them, it's like retail office type deal. So like an insurance agent, a real estate agent, you know, there's like a beauty salon type place, a tax place. I think those kind of small businesses where they need an office, but they want like a small space. I think these would work perfect for them. And it could be a storefront if it was like minimal stuff that they're selling, like a small supplement shop, but it's almost might be too small for that. So it's a main space, a storage closet, a bathroom, and then like kind of a small like warehouse storage space in the back. Yeah, I don't know where the lights are, but right here. It's nice. They get the roll-up door in the back, and so like it's not much. It's like $400 or $500 a month. It's pretty cheap. These ones will probably be double, so these will probably be around $1,000 a unit. They're not huge units, and so that's a pretty good rental rate. But we'll definitely get a much higher rent and by doing this small renovation. And it's a nice renovation. Like they're nice looking units now. They're pretty nasty before. Usually with the commercial, like bigger commercial, like you don't get them nice like this. You just get the space, and you got to spend the money to come in and build these out. Since these are like small units, these are attracting much smaller business. That's why we spend a little bit of money to make them nice so that they don't have to come in and spend that upfront money. But a lot of times if you were going to build, you know, a bigger gym or a bigger supplement company or something like that, you have to pay the lease, and then you actually as a business owner have to come in and spend the money to do the renovations yourself. So at least this one, they won't have to do the renovations, but it'll just be a security deposit and a monthly rent, a longer term lease likely. The subcontractor that we're using for all the metal buildings, they're a big subcontractor, like metal erection construction company. They're actually based out of Central Arkansas. In this project, this is, you know, whatever, call it $1 million project. This is smaller than they would normally even be willing to look at. It just happens that like the lady that I've used for all my title work for years, her husband's one of the partners in the construction company. So when we were looking for a crew to do this, we asked if they'd be willing to take a look at it. And it's probably more because of that existing relationship that they agreed to it. And they probably see potential to do bigger projects with us in the future. But this is definitely on the small scale for them. These guys are building huge metal buildings all over the United States. And so they'll build, you know, 100,000 square foot warehouses. This is small for them, probably close to 30,000 bucks. Like they're way more expensive than you'd expect. And that was we bidded it out to multiple subcontractors, and that was the cheapest one that we could find. It was illuminated monument sign. They're definitely not cheap. We actually got I think like $5,000 from the city of Jacksonville in a grant for the new signage. So they'll pay businesses to put nicer signs up versus like old crappy banners and stuff.